Alright guys, welcome back to the 17 Grand Cross video. We have now just gotten official leaks only a few minutes ago, literally while I was watching KONSUBA. But yes, KONSUBA is going to be the next collaboration coming towards Grand Cross. We obviously broke the news like a week or two ago now, basically, which was not like the official confirmation from the actual like main leak that we have. 17 leaks, Alexis, he's the one that kind of confirms it. And he also confirmed the characters, even though we thought maybe they can go towards 4, mainly because this collaboration, as you can see by the title, is the KONSUBA collaboration needs to be big, and it's kind of one reason for it. This is our last collaboration until obviously next year, right? This is our final big bang. The last two, from memory, or at least last year, we had LR Millen, which is a massive character. So do expect, at least this time around, to be probably likely a bit more effort, especially considering on screen now you can see there was a interview or like some sort of staff member on the KR forums. It was official, where they did basically confirm that yes, there is a new collaboration coming, because we kind of also thought that it might be a possibility that he might also just do a rerun towards the end of the year. That was definitely my prediction at the start of the year, right? Just we thought we were just gonna say, oh hey, here's a year collaborations and then just do a bunch of reruns. Just typical Netmarble, right? But they did confirm it was a new collaboration, so looking like it's to be true. And they did say that we're going to be getting new story for the first time in a very, very long time, right? And the reason why I say it needs to be kind of big is because, well, Series' origin is basically done. By the time this collaboration is literally out, we're going to be playing Series of Origin because of the beta, and of course there is now a official confirmed release date. So you like to think the game's mostly done. Of course, they're still going to obviously live service, they're going to keep it up and add more things towards it. But the reason why I mention that is because, well, you're noticing in the past few months on Grand Cross, they have started to put a little bit more effort in towards their events. We're not back to the good old days, but like you're seeing a little bit more effort compared to like last year, right? Only reason why I bring that up a little bit is because literally, if you lot don't know, the day, I always bring this up, the day they announced Series of Origin, I think it might have been like January 27th or whatever it was, you can see it on screen, was literally the last day ever in Grand Cross we got a 2-person banner. I'm not including collaborations, like actual Sevisins or Ragnar characters. Was the last time we done that. Ever since literally the week after, we had a 1-person banner, and that's been a pattern ever since, right? So now with Origin being done, you kind of hope they put more effort in, and maybe once again they're kind of getting back to that point. But unfortunately, they're not doing what we're used to, which is 4 characters. Still getting 3. I mean, you could argue Kazuma doesn't do much. I've not finished season 1 yet, so I don't know. I guess it might be like the Subaru effect a little bit, where Subaru, yeah, you could argue, and to be fair, he shouldn't have been playable during, if they are based on season 1. But I do think if you watched enough of ReZero now, especially during season 2 and season 3, Subaru definitely can be a playable character, and he could also just be a dual character, right? And that's one thing I would have liked this scene a little bit from this collaboration. Yeah, you can make the argument that Kazuma is not going to be playable, but maybe make him a dual character, one of the characters, right? Because then at that point, it's still free. They could have done Aqua and also Kazuma, or even Aqua and any of the other characters, and it would have worked really well, right? Once again, he's a big, important part of KONSUBA, and you could even argue a little bit that he might be in part 2, but that's obviously a while away, and you never know, it may not even happen, right? String of things rip. But, I want to bring your attention towards his ultimate scold, which is, they show the sisters, right? Like, the sisters are part of the ultimate animation, which is kind of a rare thing. We don't really get to see more characters in ultimate animations. Granted, these lot might not be replayable, right? But, like, yeah, it would be pretty cool with all of the girls that are coming. They had, like, Kazuma at the end of the animation, kind of like him reacting towards what's happening, right? Like, I think we're going to talk about later on a little bit too. But Megumin, right, is... if they want to keep it in theme of what she does in the series, granted, she may grow out of that. I haven't finished the other seasons, but right now, and I saw 3 people on Discord say it, but when she uses her ultimate, she can no longer do anything, right? She kind of falls down. So there's 2 ways they can do about it. It's like, when she falls down, Kazuma in the ultimate animation, it's like behind her, just like doing like a face palm, right? Like kind of like lean in towards the comedy version of obviously KONSUBA through their ultimates, and he can like be the reaction towards it. That'd be very cool. It'll add a little bit of flavor towards it, because he'd be a part of all their kits basically. Granted, only through the ultimate animation. But to go back to Megami a little bit, right? I do wonder a little bit if she's gonna stun herself. Like, at least, you know, they really want to do it, be like kind of fitting towards the character. It's just like after the ultimate, she stuns herself for 1 turn. To be fair, by the time, because you do it during your turn, so by next turn you've unstunned, it generally doesn't do anything. The only difference is that you can't use skills after ultimate, but you can then just use the skills before the ultimate. So it doesn't really change much towards the character, you could say, and I guess the effect of what she does in game. But it'll add a little bit of flavor towards the character. That's one thing I kind of hope they do. But yeah, I think we've seen some other leaks a little bit, but I'm not going to go too much in towards them. But they did bring up the fact that one of the leaks or characters from this collaboration is going to be part of a clan, which we've obviously spoken a little bit about already, with the fact that one of the earlier collaborations earlier this year did a massive change towards obviously races. They now changed from race to clans, so you can fit them in towards the fairies. And I think that's definitely going to be the case for Aqua. Aqua is 100% going to be a goddess. She might. Too many, they do call her goddess, right? But Netmarble in the past, they've been very tricky with the wordings. Granted, they've been a lot more lenient on it now, so they might just outright make her a goddess. But I guess if anything, they could just put clan and put god, right? Because I mean, even their own IP, basically, right? A lot of gods from Ragnarok. I mean, they literally got God of War, and he's even got the god characteristic. They just didn't want them to make goddesses for some reason. To be fair, even Scold, I mean, to be fair, I don't know much about her. She's somehow a giant. So yeah, Aqua is definitely going to be a actual Goddess Clan member. Granted, remember, 3 characters, very much like how we saw a little bit towards, obviously, Enter Shadow. I mean, pretty much straight up, but like they leaned a little more towards the back line. But even compared to a solo leveling, the last few things they've been doing for collaborations, which is good and bad a little bit, because you kind of don't see Jinwoo or even any of the actual human characters. Granted, humans aren't great right now. Maybe they get a little bit buff right now with the Megamin and also Darkness dropping, right? But they've been doing like full collab teams, basically, right? So you have like the full solo leveling team that was kind of, and it did actually work, right? You saw Beru basically change to a human. If a Darkness, which is basically Jinwoo, was actually in the team, right? Also, I think if anything, because Jinwoo was kind of a big thing about him, was one, he can go towards level 200, but also he was Darkness, right? So Aqua being a light type, kind of fitting. I was imagining that. But if they really wanted, because we have 3 colors, they can just do blue for her. Red for obviously Megamin, pretty self-explanatory, and Darkness can be green. But yeah, Megamin, there's no reason why I brought up Roxy. They kind of look similar, so kind of why I'm talking right now a little about the character. But she's definitely going to be a big DPS character. Aqua, they say she's a healer, right? But like healers in this game kind of suck a little bit. I think who was the last healer that we could talk about? It's probably Nassians, right? From memory, that actually had a heal card, and the only way they really made this work was by giving him a rank up through his kit. So I think if anything, definitely Aqua in some way should probably have some sort of healing abilities. They should pretty likely do it through the passive. Giving her a healing ability on actual skill is kind of a little bit not really that great. Otherwise, you have to lean really, really hard on towards Darkness, and also Megamin being a lot more OP, because then that means just to kind of carry Aqua a little bit. Like Nassians, you know, he was actually really good. I think a little bit underrated. Definitely falling off now, obviously, right? But he was very, very good. And I actually liked the healing a little bit. It's just you really had to rely on stunning and then also your other characters killing. So Aqua, in that sense, I'm hoping, yes, she might heal through a little bit through the passive, but more supportive abilities. But maybe in the sense of how Emilia was, right? Where she was supportive a little bit because she could freeze, but then the ultimate was at the time, one-shot nuke, especially at 6-6. It was Lost Fame, right? So I'm hoping, because especially during Season 1, I saw already, she does like that massive punch, and I think that's what the punch was when they did the collaboration on Slime Isekai Memory. So that big punch she does, or even like the staff, I think she had a little bit as well, is by far probably likely going to be an ultimate. Once again, they want to base it off the newest season, which they've been typically doing, and I haven't unfortunately watched that far yet. And Darkness, obviously a tank, right? This is a no-brainer. But I hope if they do it, because I've been trying to use her lately, is make her a version of Ghislaine, right? If you don't know how Ghislaine works, she was a tank, right? She taunted one character where they can only attack her. You also lower the attack rate stats. And it was kind of fun to use her. I actually really liked her, right? But she did do decent damage in a sense, right? Like she was a tank character, so like the obvious thing they can give towards her is like a stance or something where she can just taunt people, which once again she might do, and you can do that. But I don't know. I feel like that's probably not the best thing to give her, just because of the current meta with Scold, where counters are kind of powerful, and we've seen this countless times in the past where counters are powerful, they're going to eventually release a character that kind of counter the stance characters, whether that be through passes or even later on a talent where you can just cleanse all counters, where you can just remove all of the actual stances on the field. Given Darkness a stance would be kind of a bad thing a little bit, so I kind of hope they don't do that. If anything, maybe go down the route of Blue Derriere, but then it can get removed by Demon King, right? So like it's, you know, it's a tricky thing a little bit, but I guess it works for Blue Assault Mode Meliodas, so they can work. But definitely probably don't give her a stance skill. But hopefully, once again, like the other characters, they can make her a bit more of a DPS too. Even though I guess she misses, right, in this series. Hopefully she can start to hit some characters, I don't know. But ultimate-wise, like I said, maybe they can do something funny a little bit too, where like the ultimate she misses and then Kazumi can come in and just do something. And then the final things I want to talk a little bit about is, of course, we already know we might be getting story mode, and that will be a big thing, of course, right? In terms of boss fights, I'm not entirely too sure. Like I said, they might typically base off like the movie or even like the last season, so they'll probably likely pick some from that. I think currently for me right now, it's like the random knight with like a floating head. That's kind of like the main villain. But I've already said this, man. Bring back stamps. We kind of had a little bit of resurgence this year. We got a bunch of the 4 Nights Apocalypse ones, which was quite a nice surprise a little bit, right? Because if anything, 4 Nights definitely deserves some actual stamps, right? Especially like the artwork if you read the manga, right? But one thing I loved about the earlier, I guess it wasn't earlier, it was just literally only AOT, was, and I still use it to this day, right? Is these stamps right here. The Mikasa, which is, you know, if someone recognizes me in PvP, you can kind of tell because he kind of spams some stuff a little bit. So I do like to do that one. Or even the Closer Time Wave. It's so sick. And with the comedy and the comedy aspect of Konosuba, they can do so much stamps. Like a lot of the straight like deadpan faces have been fun, some of the funniest parts about the series so far. So if they can make those into a stamps, what a perfect collaboration to bring them back for, right? So yeah, guys, that is pretty gonna wrap up the video. Let me know if you're excited. Like I say, we're gonna be getting the countdowns pretty likely during the weekend. Then we're probably gonna get the stream on. Then we're gonna get the updating course stream on Wednesday, and of course the character release on Thursday. And we're definitely covering it and playing through the characters on this channel. So guys, thank you for watching. I'm gonna get back to watching some Konosuba, guys. Thank you for watching, and yeah.